2002 National Electrical Code requires arc fault circuit breakers for 120-volt branch circuit wiring in sleeping areas. However, the NEC does not explicitly prohibit the installation of electrical panels in sleeping areas. There are varying interpretations of the code intent. Some argue that the intent of the NEC is to minimize the risk of electrical fires and electric shock in sleeping areas, believing that installing electrical panels in these areas could create a potential hazard if the panel were to become damaged or malfunction. Others argue that the NEC does not specifically prohibit electrical panels in sleeping areas and that it is up to the designer to assess the risks and determine if the installation is appropriate. The 2005 NEC Code panel discussed the issue of electrical panels in sleeping areas, but did not make any changes to the code. However, it did clarify that the intent of the arc fault circuit breaker requirement is to protect branch circuit wiring, not electrical panels. It is possible that future editions of the NEC may include a specific prohibition on the installation of electrical panels in sleeping areas. However, no such changes are currently anticipated. As a design firm, it is your responsibility to assess the risks and determine if installing electrical panels in bedrooms is appropriate. Consulting with a qualified electrician or code official for guidance is advisable. Alternative options to consider if concerned about safety risks include: firstly, installing electrical panels in a hallway or other non-sleeping area; secondly, using a remote control panel to operate the panel from outside the sleeping area; and thirdly, installing a locking cover on the panel to prevent unauthorized access. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, serves as the benchmark for safe electrical design, installation, and inspection to protect people and property from electrical hazards. It is updated every 3 years. The NEC is not itself a law, but states and local governments often adopt it into law. The code covers electrical conductors equipment and raceways, signaling and communications conductors equipment and raceways, and optical fiber cables and raceways installed indoors and outdoors, and also covers installations in buildings, structures, and mobile homes. The NEC addresses issues such as wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs, are circuit breakers that break the circuit when they detect an electrical arc. Arcing can be a sign of damaged or deteriorated wiring, loose connections, or other electrical problems that can lead to fires. SIs are designed to protect against fires caused by arcing faults. Standard circuit breakers are designed to protect against overloads and short circuits. They do not detect arcing faults. SIs are more sensitive than standard circuit breakers and can detect low-level arcs that would not trick the standard breaker. The NEC requires SIs in many locations throughout the home, including bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, and family rooms. The specific requirements for SIs vary depending on the edition of the NEC that is in effect in the local jurisdiction. When considering the placement of electrical panels, several factors should be taken into account. These factors include accessibility, clearance, environmental conditions, and aesthetics. The panel should be easily accessible for maintenance and repairs. Sufficient clearance should be provided around the panel to allow for safe working conditions. The panel should be located in a dry, well-ventilated area to prevent corrosion and overheating. The panel should be located in an area where it will not be easily damaged or vandalized. And finally, a panel should be located in an area that is aesthetically pleasing. The location of an electrical panel should be chosen to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. The panel should not be located in a damp or wet area, as this could increase the risk of electric shock. The panel should not be located in an area where it is likely to be damaged, such as a garage or workshop. The panel should not be located in an area where it is likely to be obstructed, such as a closet or storage room. In addition to the NEC, local codes and ordinances may also apply to the installation of electrical panels. It is important to check with the local building department to determine the specific requirements for the area. When installing an electrical panel, it is important to follow all applicable codes and regulations. It is also important to use qualified electricians to perform the work. Improper installation of an electrical panel can create a serious safety hazard. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical panel installation, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can assess the specific situation and provide guidance on the best way to proceed. Remember that safety is paramount when dealing with electricity. Always take precautions to avoid electric shock and fire hazards. The electrical panel is a critical component of the electrical system, and it should be treated with respect. If you notice any problems with the electrical panel, such as flickering lights, burning smells, or tripped circuit breakers, it is important to have it inspected and repaired by a qualified electrician as soon as possible. Ignoring electrical problems can lead to more serious problems, such as electrical fires. The NEC, specifically Article 408, covers switchboards, panel boards, and distribution board equipment. This article provides requirements for the construction, installation, and wiring of these types of equipment. Panel boards are designed to distribute power to branch circuits. They typically contain circuit breakers or fuses that protect the branch circuits from overcurrent. Panel boards are available in a variety of sizes and configurations to meet the needs of different applications. Switchboards are larger than panel boards and are used to distribute power to multiple panel boards or other large loads. Switchboards typically contain circuit breakers, fuses, and other protective devices. Switchboards are often used in commercial and industrial applications. Distribution boards are similar to switchboards but are typically used to distribute power to a smaller number of loads. Distribution boards are often used in residential and light commercial applications. The selection of the appropriate type of electrical distribution equipment depends on the specific application. Factors to consider include the amount of power to be distributed, the number of branch circuits required, and the available space. The installation of electrical distribution equipment must be performed by qualified electricians in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Proper installation is essential to ensure the safe and reliable operation of the electrical system. Regular maintenance of electrical distribution equipment is also important to prevent problems and extend the life of the equipment. Maintenance tasks include inspecting for loose connections, cleaning dust and debris, and testing the operation of circuit breakers and other protective devices. In summary, the NEC provides comprehensive requirements for electrical distribution equipment. Proper selection, installation, and maintenance of this equipment are essential to ensure the safe and reliable operation of the electrical system. When considering whether to install electrical panels in sleeping areas, a risk assessment is critical. This assessment should evaluate the potential hazards associated with having electrical equipment in close proximity to occupants while they sleep. Considerations should include the likelihood of electrical faults, the potential for fires, and ease of access for maintenance and repairs. Factors such as the age and condition of the electrical system, the presence of young children or elderly individuals, and the overall design of the living space should also be taken into account. Based on the risk assessment, a decision can be made about whether to install electrical panels in sleeping areas. If the risks are deemed to be unacceptable, alternative locations for the panels should be considered. If the risks are deemed to be acceptable, appropriate safety measures should be implemented, such as installing arc fault circuit interrupters, using tamper-resistant receptacles, and providing clear instructions on how to operate the electrical system safely. Communication with the client is also important. The client should be informed of the risks and benefits of installing electrical panels in sleeping areas, and their input should be considered in the decision-making process. Ultimately, the decision of whether to install electrical panels in sleeping areas is a complex one that requires careful consideration of all relevant factors. Consulting with qualified electricians and code officials can help ensure that the decision is made in a safe and responsible manner. The NEC is a living document that is constantly evolving to reflect changes in technology and safety practices. It is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements of the NEC to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant. The NEC is available for purchase from the National Fire Protection Association (NFPA). The NFPA also offers a variety of training and educational resources on the NEC. In addition to the NEC, many states and local jurisdictions have their own electrical codes. It is important to check with the local building department to determine the specific requirements for the area. Electrical codes are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. By following the requirements of the electrical code, you can help to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and reliable. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can assess the specific situation and provide guidance on the best way to proceed. Electrical work can be dangerous, so it is important to take precautions to avoid electric shock and fire hazards. Always turn off the power before working on electrical equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. Use insulated tools. And never work on electrical equipment when you are wet or standing in water. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following these tips, you can help to prevent electrical accidents. In addition to the points already covered, consider the following aspects related to electrical panel placement and safety within residential spaces. Firstly, ensure adequate ventilation around electrical panels to prevent overheating. Restricted airflow can lead to increased temperatures within the panel, potentially causing premature component failure or even fires. Secondly, clearly label all circuits within the panel. Proper labeling allows for quick identification of circuits during maintenance or emergencies, reducing the risk of accidental shocks or damage to equipment. Thirdly, implement surge protection devices to safeguard sensitive electronic equipment from voltage spikes. Surges can originate from various sources, including lightning strikes and utility switching, and can cause significant damage to appliances and electronics. Fourthly, consider the aesthetic impact of panel placement. While functionality and safety are paramount, integrating the panel seamlessly into the living space can enhance the overall appearance of the room. Fifthly, regularly inspect the panel for signs of damage or corrosion. Early detection of these issues can prevent more serious problems from developing over time. Sixthly, use appropriate grounding techniques to ensure a safe path for fault currents. Proper grounding is essential for minimizing the risk of electric shock and equipment damage. Seventhly, install tamper-resistant receptacles, especially in areas accessible to children. These receptacles have internal shutters that prevent foreign objects from being inserted, reducing the risk of electrical injuries. Eighthly, consider the use of smart panels that offer advanced monitoring and control capabilities. These panels can provide real-time data on energy consumption and potential electrical issues, allowing for proactive maintenance and energy management. Ninthly, ensure that all electrical work is performed by licensed and qualified electricians. This helps to guarantee that the work is done safely and in accordance with applicable codes and regulations. Tenthly, educate occupants on basic electrical safety practices. This includes teaching them how to identify potential hazards, how to use electrical equipment safely, and what to do in the event of an electrical emergency. And finally, adhere to all applicable accessibility requirements, especially in dwellings designed for individuals with disabilities. This may include ensuring adequate clearance around the panel and providing accessible labeling. By incorporating these additional considerations into the design and installation process, you can further enhance the safety and functionality of electrical systems in residential spaces. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. The presence of an electrical panel in a sleeping area may also raise concerns about electromagnetic fields, or EMF. While the scientific evidence on the health effects of EMF is still inconclusive, some individuals may be sensitive to them. If EMF are a concern, the panel can be shielded to reduce EMF emissions. Shielding materials include metal enclosures and conductive paints. The effectiveness of shielding can be measured using an EMF meter. Another option is to relocate the panel to a different area of the dwelling. Ultimately, the decision of whether to shield the panel or relocate it will depend on the individual's concerns and the specific circumstances of the situation. In addition to addressing safety and EMF concerns, it is also important to consider the convenience and practicality of having an electrical panel in a sleeping area. The panel should be easily accessible for maintenance and repairs. It should also be located in an area where it will not be easily obstructed. The panel should be adequately illuminated so that it can be easily inspected. The panel should be located in an area where it will not be exposed to excessive moisture or humidity, and the panel should be located in an area where it will not be subject to physical damage. When considering the location of an electrical panel, it is important to weigh all of these factors carefully. The goal is to find a location that is safe, convenient, and practical. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, it is best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can assess the specific situation and provide guidance on the best way to proceed.